Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to bring you a top 10 list, but it's going to be split in half. So it's 5 fragrances that I think are worth more than what you pay for them, and 5 fragrances that I think are not worth the amount of money that you pay on them. So this is going to be kind of a little bit of a list talking about the value in a fragrance based on the smell alone. And I just thought it would be an interesting video to bring to you guys. So let's get into the video. First things first, I'm obviously going to be ripping apart at least a half of these scents. Just because these fragrances I don't think are worth the money doesn't mean that they're bad scents. Some of these are fragrances that I love and wear all the time. I'm also not going to be judging these fragrances based on the ingredient, presentation. It's purely about how it smells. Fragrances that smell expensive and fragrances that smell like cheapies. Now, price point is huge for a lot of people. A lot of people are on a budget, but they want to get the most bang for their buck. They don't want to smell like everybody else. They want to smell different, unique, special. And a lot of people equate those qualities with price. And that's why I wanted to do this video, to talk to you guys that you don't have to spend top dollar to smell like you spent top dollar. And also sometimes when you spend top dollar, you're not going to smell like that. It doesn't matter your budget, it doesn't matter your fragrance wardrobe, how you like to smell or anything like that. But I did kind of want to talk about this a little bit, because when people do review scents and talk about fragrances, one of the things that we say all the time is, this smells expensive. So I thought this would be a fun video. Now, I'm going to be picking fragrances from my own collection, so there's going to be some mist here. But let me know below, guys, what fragrances do you think smell like they're worth a lot more money, and what fragrances do you think smell like maybe they shouldn't charge so much? The first one I'm going to talk about is Banana Republic Dark Cherry and Amber. This has a retail price of like $65. It is very affordable when you think about the price point of other designer scents being in the $80s, sometimes up to $150. The reason why I think this smells more expensive is because it has that really rich cherry note to it. And cherry is a note that we do see utilized in fragrances, but it's been attributed to fragrances like Tom Ford Lost Cherry, and also super sweet fragrances like Baccarat Rouge 540. That sweet kind of syrupy sweetness mixed with resins and woods is something that we see composition-wise a lot of more expensive fragrances either trying to emulate, or dupes and clone houses trying to create to make something that smells like that so that people will buy it at affordable price. Now, I didn't want to choose an exact dupe of Baccarat Rouge 540 for this video because I thought that that would just be a little too easy, and I don't think this is an exact dupe of either Tom Ford Lost Cherry or Baccarat Rouge 540, but it does fit that same category of kind of sweet, fizzy, boozy fragrances that smells really beautiful and substantial and has a lot of presence and sexiness. And you get that same feel of those fragrances with something that is its own fragrance and is also very affordable. That's why this is one of my top picks for fragrances that smells like it's worth more money. Another thing that I look for when it comes down to fragrances that I think have value in regards to they smell expensive is greenness, is woodness, something that smells more than just you stuck sandalwood and patchouli and vetiver with some bergamot and maybe a little bit of jasmine in there. Something that smells a little bit more inspired, that has the integrity of some deep, scary, mysterious, spooky, enchanted forest. Now, when it comes down to indie fragrances and indie houses, sometimes they charge a lot of money and sometimes they're more affordable. And I'm never going to tell any indie brand or any niche house that, that's too much or too little. I don't know their overhead. I don't know what kind of value they put into their fragrances and their presentation. But there is a fragrance, an indie fragrance house, and I have a few fragrances from them that I think smell way more better. That's not the right way to say grammatically, I'm sorry. Smells just like it's worth more money, like the fragrances smell more expensive than they are, and that's the Parlor Company. And the fragrance that I'm specifically using is Forest. Now, this fragrance smells like a beautiful, rich, enchanted forest. It's green, it's aromatic, it's got this like beautiful kind of like sweet herbally crispness, like there's like some mint or balsam in there. It just smells evergreen, like it just smells like that. Not Christmas tree, but just like evergreen and woody and green and lush and damp and cool and crisp. And I just think it's a fantastic fragrance. And that's the type of smells that I look for when I'm looking at spending $100, $150 for a bottle of perfume. That's what this smells like. It is great. It leans more on the masculine side. So if some of you guys out there love green, lush scents and you're looking for something, Forest from the Parlor Company is just magnificent. Now this fragrance, I wouldn't say smells like it's super expensive, but it does smell like something you'd spend probably an extra 30 or 40 bucks on. And it's from Elizabeth Arden and it's white tea. Now Elizabeth Arden is the fragrances that I usually see range between like $35 to $75. So the price point of this house is not affordable, but it's definitely not like Chanel, Dior, Versace level of fragrance prices. But this one is just so clean and crisp. It smells like something that could fit along the lines of Dolce & Gabbana or even some Gucci fragrances. And so this definitely smells like it'd be worth more than $50 to $60. And I just think it just smells really beautiful and attractive on the skin. Now, this house, some of their fragrances go a little bit higher, not crazy high, and some of them you could find really good deals on, specifically like Amazon, things like that. But this specific fragrance, and it's from Bordeaux, and it's the Eau de Cologne Traditional 1902 Figue Blanche. And this one smells so good. So these fragrances don't have a lot of lasting power. It doesn't last like I would expect something that costs more than like $20 to last. So performance wise, these you do reapply, but the smell of this smells like some of the more prominent, beloved, hyped fig fragrances out there. And I think that that is a testament just to the beauty and the clarity of the scent. It smells deliberate. It doesn't smell like some random person is trying to create another fragrance, so they're like fig and they mix it together. It smells deliberate, it smells inspired, it smells like it has purpose. And fig is just one of those notes that I see more in higher end designer fragrances or even some niche fragrances than I do in fragrances that are considered to be more affordable and like cheapies. And that's why this fragrance is part of this list. And last, but certainly not least in fragrances that I think smell like they're worth more money, is from Define Me Fragrances, and this is Ariel. When I first got this fragrance, this was sent to me, so I didn't spend any money on this, but the price point of this was under $90, and I expected something to smell like your run-of-the-mill female aquatic fragrance, maybe some sparkly florals in there, some beautiful fruity bergamot in the opening, and you know, like a base of maybe like sandalwood and musk, but it smells like kind of salty and the sea and woody, and it has like a lot more to this fragrance than what I expected. It smells like it's worth about $150, so maybe an extra like $40 or $50, but it just smells to me more masculine than what you would think. It smells very independent, very, again, light on the skin, but not like it doesn't have a presence on the skin. It's just very sparkly, but again, it's salty, it's woody, it smells aquatic, but not like Aqua di Gio level of aquatic. It's just very inspired and very deliberate, and that's what I really like about that scent. Now, the second half of this video are fragrances that I don't think are worth the price point. They are still good scents. So I do like these, or most of these, and there are definitely a few that I rave about, but we're talking about, again, smell. Does it smell like something you'd spend a lot of money on, or does it smell like something you'd spend a little bit of money on? And that's kind of like what we're talking about. The first one, should be no surprise, is My Way from Giorgio Armani. Now, I've talked about this before. I've ripped this fragrance apart. I love this fragrance because I love tuberose, but there are so many affordable, inexpensive white floral bombs out there, specifically tuberose, that you can get for like 30-40 bucks and smell the same, or sometimes even better. This fragrance just smells uninspired. It smells good, but it smells like you should only be paying about half of what you pay for this. I do like it, I do enjoy it, I do wear it. It doesn't smell very expensive. This next one is from Sol de Janeiro, and it's Sol Chorizo 62. Now, I love the way this smells, but the perfume, like the body mist, smells so much better on the skin. It smells richer and sweeter and like saltier, and this one just smells muddy. So knowing that the body mist can perform way better than this, I just think that this smells cheaper in comparison to the body mist. The body mist, I've talked about it before, hands down, in every situation other than presentation, is worth it. Definitely say that. This next one is a fragrance I don't wear a lot, but I really enjoy. I had a smaller bottle of it. I sold it for a larger bottle of it. I do really like this scent, but, and my big old but, there are so many inexpensive fragrances out there that smell like this or smell similar to this. I don't truly think it's worth the price point, and it's Prada Candy. Now, I'm comparing this to Aqua Pink Sugar. They're not the same fragrances, but you get the same kind of inspiration from it. And if you're looking at, you know, finding it on sale for like $5 to $10 to paying almost $100 for it, I think that I would tell you in almost every case to go with Pink Sugar. What this fragrance has going for it, other than those scents, is it does have beautiful performance, and it does smell a little bit more expensive than those. But I don't think it smells the price point that Prada puts on this fragrance or its flankers personally. I do like it, I do wear it, I do think it's a very flirty, feminine fragrance, but I don't think it smells Prada prices. I think it smells, again, like maybe half the price. Still a good fragrance, but not for that much money. I used my discount and I used all the points on that. I didn't pay cash for that. I got that practically for free because I had a lot of Ulta points. This next one is a great rose scent. I really like it, and it's Tom Ford Rose Prick. Now, I've talked about this before, and I think it smells great. I love it, and I was really excited for the addition of turmeric. But if you don't have something truly special to make a rose fragrance stand out, then it's going to smell like every other rose fragrance out there, and then that's going to smell like your most affordable rose fragrances out there. I judge, and as I do more rose videos, I'll let you guys know this. I judge every rose fragrance to Bulgari's Rose Essential in regards to how it smells as a rose. Rose Essential to me is like the perfect price point for that fragrance. It does smell like it could be worth more money, but it's still, or when it was in production, it was still a luxury priced fragrance. So whenever I smell a rose fragrance, I'm like, how successful to Rose Essential is this? If it smells like Rose Essential, or it kind of doesn't, you know, it's not as magical as Rose Essential, what's its price? So I think Rose Essential from Bulgari is a more successful rose fragrance for something that's just smelling like a rose. And Rose Prick had this beautiful idea of adding turmeric in there, that aromatic kind of cool, dusty, dirt-like smell. And they could have really honed that in there and made this special and made this smell unique and different and expired. And they didn't. They kind of played it safe. It's like they put the turmeric in there as more a novelty note rather than an actual note that has presence and packs a punch. And so since to me it just kind of smells like another rose fragrance, I compare it to Rose Essential and it doesn't hold up. So even though I do love this scent and I wear it, I think that it could definitely have more power in it, and that would make it smell more expensive. Instead, it smells like a fragrance you'd probably spend like $100 on or $150 on, which is still a lot, but that's a $335 bottle of perfume, so it doesn't smell quite that much money. This next one, this last one, is one that I wasn't sure I was going to be part of this list, but a lot of people have real feelings about this house, and I have very real feelings about this house, but this fragrance specifically, and it's Aqua Fiorentina from Creed. Now, I love this fragrance. It smells so good. It's tart, it's sweet, it's uplifting, it's bright, it's dazzling. It's a fantastic spring and summertime fragrance, but it smells, again, like something that would be along the lines of Dolce & Gabbana. So when I think about fresh, zesty, musky fragrances, I compare to light blue a lot, and I also compare to the core of a lot of Francis Kurkdjian's fragrances. He's well known for his very sparkly florals. And I say if it kind of smells more along the lines of, you know, kind of encaptures the whimsy and magic that Francis Kurkdjian does, then I'm like, okay, this kind of smells like something that would have a little bit more higher value. But if it's along the light blue lines, even though that is a fantastic fragrance and my gateway fragrance, I do find that it's in its simplicity and it's just composition that any house that kind of smells like that reminds me of, again, like a designer fragrance. And designer fragrances can be considered to be very expensive, but we're talking about the House of Creed here, and we're talking about the House of Creed prices. Now, just because a fragrance was created a long time ago or is more modern, I have to look at the price point of the scent, and Creed's price point only seems to be going up. So I don't think that every single fragrance that they create should go up. Maybe new fragrances that utilize new ingredients, new compositions, things like that. And I'm talking from somebody who has absolutely no experience in like compounding or bringing ingredients in, or, you know, inflation of prices within the perfume market. But sometimes it feels like they raise the price just to raise the price. So as Creed's prices go up, those really beautiful classic compositions that are smelling everywhere, that a lot of other houses are recreating or emulating at a more affordable price, the quality of Creed's there, but it smells like things that are readily available and not, you know, the prestige gate that is keeping people away, you know? Oops. And that's why it smells cheaper. It doesn't smell cheap. It just smells cheaper than Creed prices. And it is a beautiful scent. It's a very complimentary scent. It's one of my favorite half fragrances from the House of Creed, but it currently, with how the prices go up and a lot of fragrances that are kind of emulating these scents or doing it better, that are cheaper, kind of make it not smell as worth the price, if that makes sense. At the end of the day, smelling expensive or smelling cheap, it doesn't matter. As long as you are happy with how you smell, it doesn't matter if you smell expensive or you smell cheap. And the thing is smelling cheap isn't smelling tacky, it's not smelling lower class, it's maybe not smelling as complex or as green and foresty, like I put that a label on smelling expensive. There's nothing wrong. Some of the more beautiful, best performing fragrances out there you can get for under $50. So if you wanting to smell like you've spent more money on your fragrances, if that is important to you, then awesome. Maybe this list will help you. Or if you want to invest in fragrances that smell expensive, and if you're going to spend a lot of money on a fragrance, you want it to at least smell like you spent a lot of money on a fragrance, I hope this list help you. And also, if you're on a budget but you want to smell like you spent a little bit more money, or there's more value in your dollar, I hope this video helped you. At the end of the day, this is just my opinion based off of how I like to smell, my sensibilities, and the value that I put on fragrances. So that doesn't mean just because I think this way that it's the right way to think. But I'd love to know what you guys think too. Do you agree with what I have on my list? Do you disagree? Also, let me know what fragrances you think are worth the money or not worth the money. I'd love to know what you guys think. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I love seeing this channel grow. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.